Hello, hello, Endo sisters and supporters. This is Cash. My name is Kenny King. I am, goodness, I did not expect that. That wasn't planned. Um, my name is Kenny King. I am a health and wellness coach as well as transformational life coach. And I'm here with founder of Endometriosis and me, Kristen McCrovey. Hi, Kristen. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Your dog is adorable.
Oh my gosh, he's a disaster. That's what he is. He's a hot mess. But he's lucky he's cute. Because that's what keeps him alive. um we were just chatting and I like yelled at him for something and Kristen's dog was like, What did I do? It was so funny how he responded. Um all right, so this is episode 11. Thank you so much for being with us each week. And, we're here for you and we're just here to share topics on endometriosis and get down to the nitty gritty. And so we so appreciate when you guys write to us and let us know what your struggles are and what you'd like for us to chat about. Today we're focused on what to do for a flare-up. And we know some of you experience constant chronic pain. We know some of you experience flare-ups once every 3 months. And some of you it's every single month. And then it ranges so much. So we might miss a couple things today just because of that. But we want to just go into what are some basic, simple things that you can do. What choices do you have for the long term, for the short term, to help assist when you have a flare-up. So Kristen, I will just let you dive right in and take it away.
So for me, and I think most people, the two most important things during a flare-up are sleep, because that's when the body is able to rest and regenerate, and water, drinking enough water. I know myself, I definitely don't drink enough water, but I'm trying to. It's hard to get enough water in your day, and that's why sometimes I use a little water reminder, or I'll just have it like literally right in front of me so I know to drink it. Another good thing is if you use a heating pad, but sometimes I find that women have also used an ice pack, because depending on who you are, where your pain is, the heat is better because it's more relaxing, where the ice could be better because it decreases the inflammation. So it's really whichever is your go-to. I like a heating pad, or there's also hot water bottles, which serve like the same purpose. Hot baths for sure. I use hot baths. So a lot of the same tips for working on getting through a flare up are also a lot of the self-care tips that we have talked about in the last 2 episodes. So you can do things like the hot bath and schedule your self-care time during your flare up. It's the best time to do it. So I love hot baths with THC bath bombs. They relax me so much and I sleep so well after. So I take it, like I'll take a hot bath before bed with the THC bath bomb, and it's amazing. There's also tea that you can get that is really relaxing, like not just weed tea. There's also like chamomile and green tea, things like that, whatever tea that you kind of like. Um, and just overall, just be comfy, like comfy PJs or track pants, whatever you like to wear, loose t-shirt. Um, be comfy for sure. Do you
Yeah,
have anything to add?
absolutely. First of all, I love, all of these tips. I think one of the big ones is rest. I think you get to be, I think I've said this before, but you get to be Wonder Woman and need time to rest, recover, recuperate, give yourself space to allow your body to calm. And so it's kind of like that rest, nourish, hydrate, and repeat. A lot of times when we're, I choose to make nutritional choices leading up to each cycle based on the fact that I don't want to experience pain. I don't want to experience a flare up. So I do use a lot of nutrition to control my endo symptoms. So, but that doesn't help when you're like, yeah, but I'm in a flare up now. So what do I do now? And that is part of that. A lot of times we want to reach for comfort food, and that's okay. I'm not going to tell you don't do that, but what can you add? Can you go ahead and just in the morning either make yourself or have somebody make you a quick smoothie that you could throw some greens in, that you could just add some, as many nutrients as possible in I like smoothies because they're easy to digest. So it's less likely to cause a stomach ache. You're already everything, from here down and even from here up. I mean, normally from head to toe, you're pretty miserable. So, especially if you're getting headaches and all of that. So the hydration assists you and the nourishment. So keeping in mind that, okay, what nutrients can I get? And you don't have to be super scientific. It doesn't have to be super perfect at this point. It's just, what can I add? Can I add some veggies? Can I add some fruits? Can I, make sure that I have some high quality fats? Can I get myself some protein? How can I do that in the most enjoyable way, in the easiest way? Don't make this too hard on yourself. You don't feel good, so obviously let's make it as easy as possible. There's nothing wrong with sending somebody to one of those stores, Smoothie King or whatever, the places that do smoothies. Might it be better, higher quality if you do it at home? Sure, but right now we're not focused on the highest, best quality. We're focused on, hey, how can I get you some quick, fast nutrition? How can we make this easy? You're already not feeling well. And that water, I mean, I know that one of my tricks for water is starting the day with it. So as soon, like, I keep water generally by my bed so that as soon as I wake up, I go ahead and drink a little bit of it. Even if it's just like 8 ounces, even if it's 6 ounces, just drink some water, because sometimes that starts your day. And as you're drinking and really hydrating, you're flushing stuff out of the system and giving your body that space to heal, really, to heal, to detoxify, to cleanse. So one of the things I want to bring up that we have talked about is breathing, because the deeper that we breathe, our body can loosen up some of that tension. I know a lot of you realize that when you're under duress and stress, that normally a flare-up is bad. Sometimes it'll even bring on a flare-up. Just stress alone is enough to bring on a flare-up. So it's like when we're stressed and when we're under, duress, normally we start breathing really, shallow. And a lot of times people just don't breathe deep enough to begin with. So giving yourself, like, taking some really deep belly breaths. And this can also be really therapeutic if you hum a little bit. That sounds kind of strange, but the internal vibrations create a bit of a calming sensation. So that can be really useful. If that's weird, just do a song. Like, you can kind of hum to yourself or even sing gently with some deep breathing involved. Don't be surprised if you yawn. That's a really good sign that you're giving your body oxygen that you need. I don't know if you've ever noticed that, starting to take some deep breaths and then all of a sudden you yawn and you're not necessarily tired, but your body's craving that oxygen. For a variety of different scientific and wellness reasons. So that's really crucial. And if you can create a relaxing environment that is soothing, that can be really helpful. So I love the bath. I do a lot of baths as well. I'll use Epsom salts for magnesium or bath bombs. And sometimes I'll do, I'll have you know, a scent, like if it's a candle or a wax melt or essential oils or whatever, I'll have, you know, scent, I'll have soft music, I'll try to breathe deeply, I'll try to just relax. You know, the water, a lot of times that pressure can really help take the edge off of the pain. And that can be really, really useful to just, again, bring that calm. Like this morning, I was really tired. I had a bit of an emergency, so I didn't sleep at all last night. I was in the hospital with, not for me, but for people that I love. And we were at two different hospitals, and it was like 7 o'clock this morning before I even got home. And so when I did get up, I got about 4 hours of sleep. So I threw in Epsom salts that have like awaken the senses, essential oils in them. And that just helped me, you know, revive myself so that I could get up here and chat with you ladies. So, hot water bottle and heating pad, I have both. Totally agree with you, Kristen, though. Some bodies respond to heat for the relaxation aspect and the soothing, and it calms. And then some people, the ice decreases the inflammation and also creates a calm. So that's something you may just experiment with, so that you can really explore those. And stretching and a little bit of movement can be really useful. A lot of times we don't want to move, and that's okay. But if you can, and you can get past the discomfort of the first few steps, and I'm not talking about go do like a high intensity interval training class. That's not generally the right kind of movement when you're in that state. That can actually cause more of a stress impact on your system in that state. So I highly recommend that it's something slow, not high impact, you know, rejuvenating, maybe gentle restorative yoga. Maybe you are in water and you're doing some sort of water movement, water tai chi, or, you know, or just being in a pool or a body of water and allowing your body to move and stretch. And that can be really, really useful. And man, I had something else I was just about to say on movement, and it left me. So hopefully I can get that back, because I think it was important. So, and also something that has really served me with the deep breathing is a little bit of meditation. Sometimes I'll focus on things that I'm really grateful for. I might focus on the amazing things my body does, like lets me know when I need to stop and relax and nourish myself and revive. You know, whatever it is. The other day I was like going through my head what I'm grateful for, and this is just a practice that I do. I do it in the morning, I do it in the evening, middle of the day. I just do my best to stay in a state of gratitude. And so sometimes that can be really hard to do, because you're like, you don't know my life. It's crumbling into pieces. There's not anything to be grateful for. Well, even when our life's crumbling into teeny tiny little pieces and we don't recognize it or recognize ourselves, there is always something to be grateful for. So the other morning I was like, you know, sheets and pillows. Like, it wouldn't be very comfortable laying in my bed if I didn't have, you know, pillows and sheets and blankets and bedding that I could cozy into. It might not be anything fancy and spectacular, but I have it, and it makes me more comfortable than if I didn't have it. And so I might express gratitude for that. That reminded me of what I was going to say that I thought was important. It wasn't about movement. It was about, so when you get yourself settled with your heating pad or your hot water bottle or your, you know, whatever you're doing, sometimes I do the whole, I'm going to get cozy and I'm going to just binge Netflix, right? So if that's the case, if I'm on a couch or on a bed or whatever, I'm going to, generally I demonstrate stuff. This is hard here, but I take some pillows and prop them up under my knees. This is really good for post-surgery too, so that like my knees and legs are like up over the pillow, and then, you know, my heating pad is right there and I'm reclined. And it's, you know, it's like those beds. What are those beds that fold up like that? I can't remember what they're called, but you know what I'm talking about. And they do like where you're laying kind of like that. Anyway, there's scientific stuff around why that body position is really useful. Some of it's circulation, some of it's comfort, some of it's taking pressure off of the back. But if you're experiencing back pain especially, this can be really useful. I stack up pillows and I drape my legs and knees over them and get myself really cozy and comfortable, and then have my heating, my water bottle or heating pad, whatever I have. I like the water bottle for the weight and pressure. And then sometimes I like the heating pad because it'll get hot really fast. So it just depends on what you need. Have both of them. I mean, whatever you need. So anyway, that little tip has been really, really useful for me. And then the tea, I loved your tea idea, and peppermint tea has been one that's been quite soothing. Peppermint, like the essential oils, are known to assist with pain, to assist with headaches. And so peppermint tea is something that I will gravitate towards during that time. Essential oils are great too. Unfortunately, I don't have like specifics on the top of my head that are like, this one's definitely for pain, but everybody has their companies that they're like loyal to. So I know doTERRA has specific ones on pain. One is called like Deep Blue, and they've got some specific for reproductive pain and stuff, for women. And then Young Living does as well. I have a little bottle that somebody gave me. I have no idea. There's no title on it. One of my clients actually gave it to me. I don't know. But the first time I used it, this is hilarious. This is how little I knew about essential oils at the time. But I think that I don't know what it was, but I assumed because of diffusing that all essential oils, that the point was like for the smell. So here I am dealing with, like a flare up, and and my client had given me this, this is what I use. This is, this mix of whatever. And so here I am like spraying it on my wrist and rubbing it and like doing this whenever I'm in pain. Hilarious. I do think that helped me though, and I could smell it. But so I saw her again and I was like, how am I supposed to use that stuff? I didn't even ask you. And you're supposed to, of course, put it on it's topical. You put it, you put it on your abdomen, you put it where your pain is and around your, your uterus and everything. But it was just hilarious. Here I am like this. Essential oils. So I'm learning. I don't know that much about them, but I know that they really assist so many people. So that's definitely not a bad idea. And, one thing I will share is there are supplements and foods that are really useful. We talked a little bit about nutrition, but obviously women with endo, dark leafy greens, high quality fats, seed cycling. If you have not explored seed cycling, look it up and give it a try. It's easy. You can do it. You basically, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but it's really, really easy. You can try it. You do it for a whole cycle, but it's not anything super restrictive. So seed cycling is something that I've seen really support a lot of women. So things like magnesium and primrose oil and aloe vera. I mean, there are tons of things. And so if you start looking that up, it's really easy to get overwhelmed. So don't do that. Don't try all the things. Like pick a thing and see if it helps. And generally it helps if you're doing it more regularly than only in a flare-up time. And for those of you who really struggle to sleep, by all means, use whatever you need. If you're like, I need to knock myself out at night, I mean, whatever. But there's a supplement that I have used, and my husband uses it too, and it's called ZMA, and you can get it anywhere. You can Amazon or whatever, and all it is B vitamins and magnesium. So we already know that magnesium really supports endo, and that's one of the reasons a lot of times we talk about Epsom salts as well, because you get that magnesium there too, and it can assist with sleep. It can assist with reduction of pain. And then, by the way, if you are already taking magnesium and you're noticing you're really tired throughout the day, switch it and see if you could take it in the evening, if that makes that better. Some people experience better if they take it 3 times a day, but what I've noticed is that some women, their energy starts to dip. So if that's you, just run an experiment and see if I move all my magnesium into the evening, like before bed, a couple hours before bed, when you're winding down, that might really support you. And so ZMA, that's all it is. It's B6 vitamins. It's magnesium. There might be one more thing, like zinc. I think it has zinc in it. And it's really helpful. A lot of times people who are working out use it for muscle recovery and better sleep. So when I take it, it's not like you take it and it knocks you out. It's more like you have a more restful sleep. And so sometimes I just take it on any given day, but a lot of times if I'm experiencing pain or just a really, like maybe not necessarily a flare up, but a harder cycle, or in a flare up scenario, I will take it so that I can make sure that my body really gets that rest during that detoxification process. And I'm trying to absorb and assimilate all the nutrients that I consume during the day. And so that is a supplement that could be useful. So ZMA, magnesium, primrose oil, inositol is another one. And, and then, so all of those, again, don't go buy them all, but you can research them and look them up and say, oh, that might be something I'd like to try. So yeah, those are some important ones. And I think what it boils down to is giving yourself, like we started, that grace and space to nourish and care for yourself. It's almost like asking yourself the question, how much can I love and nourish my body right now? And asking yourself that question, writing down a few things that you need and want, and writing down things that are going to be really nourishing for you, mind, body, soul, physically, mentally, emotionally, and do that. That is, I think, really key. It might not be that you watch a show that makes you feel more miserable and want to cry forever. If that's therapeutic for you, do it. But if that's not, and you're like, oh, maybe I'm going to binge watch a show that's really lighthearted, or it's going to make me laugh, or that just kind of makes fun of how we silly humans take life so seriously, do that. So you do you. Like, you're unique and you're beautiful, and this, when you're in it, it freaking sucks. It's awful. So ask yourself that question. What do I need? How can I love and nourish myself today? How can I love and nourish myself in a way that's going to really help my body rest and recover and get nutrients, and really just take the space to slow down and to give myself what my body needs. So yeah, I think those are key. Anything come up for you, Kristen, just that we missed or that we might have skipped?
Something that I like that's good for just melatonin. Another great tool is using an app to protect your sleep cycle, so that you can see how you get flare.
Yeah. So I don't know if it did this for everyone, but just in case, it cut out. So can you repeat just that last little bit?
Just an app, and that can be beneficial to track symptoms.
Oh, yes.
Or flare up.
Yeah, absolutely. That is such a great, and there's tons of apps that you could do. I think the app that I have right now is called Ovia, but there's many free apps. Yeah, I think really that's a wonderful tip. Tracking what's going on and how your flare-ups are showing up, how your cycle is going all the way through it. And you can even look at, sometimes you'll see really surprising things around food, around certain interactions you might have, and you start noticing, oh, these things are not supporting my healthiest self, or this is definitely triggering that, or this is linked to that. that can be so useful in exploring what you need and exploring what you respond to as well. So if you're like in the midst of it and you're tracking, here's the things I'm doing, man, and you really felt better. Now you've got like this log of, okay, now I can build on these things that help me feel better. So I love that. Awesome. Love it. So yeah, so what to do in a flare up? If you have, any feedback or any particular tips that you've done, because there's so many that we can only squeeze so many in one sitting. But if you have tips that it's like, oh my gosh, this was life changing for me, put it in the comments, share it with your sisters, share it with us. And once again, if you have something that you really would like for us to cover, something that needs to be addressed, or something that you're dealing with and going through, and you just want to know, hey, is everybody else dealing with this too? Or what do you think can be done about this? Let us know. You can find Kristen at Endometriosis and Me. There's a website, there's a Facebook page, there's multiple, 2 Facebook groups. One is Endometriosis and Me, one's Endometriosis and Me Unleashed. So tons of ways to connect. You can find me on Facebook at Kenny Rochelle Coaching. You can also join our closed group, Endometriosis Nourish, Flourish, Thrive. I would love to have you there and see you there. We are solution focused. So, and we will see you next time around. What are we talking about next time? I think we're focusing next time on life after a hysterectomy. And, we're going to hone in on the emotional aspect of when you're not warned about how you might feel about it and how you might respond to it. So, all right, ladies, we love you. Thank you so much for being here with us, and we will see you soon. Bye.